Okay, I've never had one of these before, but I know a lot of people do and think highly of them. For good reason. Very well designed, Swedish made thing. Burn alcohol, burn many different types of alcohol. This happens to be heat that I'm using, the yellow. And that's readily available and plenty cheap. I've seen it at times around 50 cents. It seems to burn pretty clean. I've been playing around with this thing. Okay, the one thing about them, they come just the burner. And you have to come up with some kind of a windscreen thing. And what I'm using here is one of the old sterno ones that are made to hold. A can of sterno sits in there. Nice in that they fold up very well. They fold up flat. But I've been playing around with this for a couple of days, and I've been pretty impressed. It heats up very quickly. Simple to operate. And they're relatively cheap. And well made. They've got an O-ring in that lid, so you can transport them with alcohol in the burner. This is a snuffer cap, but also works to simmer. You can open it or close it to control the flame. But like I say, cheap. I got these off eBay from a company called Trail This Inc. And they were $15 with free shipping, 15 each. So if I'm buying one, I figured I'd buy a second one, because this is the kind of thing you could even throw in the cubby hole of a car, and it'd be handy to have at times. So after these came, and I've been playing around with them, I ordered a couple more, just because, I like them. I think they're a pretty tricky thing. They're made in Sweden, and them Swedes are pretty tricky about this sort of thing. But they've been used in the military for quite some time. Yeah, I'm impressed. But yesterday, most of the time, the problem I would worry about with these is, there isn't much of a base there. And if you had one of these burning in a tent and were to knock it over, you would have a flaming pool of alcohol running across the floor. And a lot of the wind screens, like I say, I'm using the one from the sterno, but a lot of the ones that I've seen are very small and compact, but it would make it for precarious balancing of a kettle or something you're putting on there. You'd have to figure out a good solid way of doing it without getting too involved. I mean, there's some real involved. The windscreen costs you more than the burner costs, so you can make do. You can make something up to do the job. I know a lot of them come with, the military ones use a mess kit bottom. There's a windscreen that goes with them. But like I said, it's something you could certainly make do with. But it does heat up rather quickly. Yesterday I was monkeying around and I cooked a grilled ham and cheese, and I was using a cast iron kettle that hung way over the sides, It worked very well, that the flame spread out and heat very evenly. But there's one where, like I say, if you had the small windscreen, she might be a little tippy. But this sterno thing, it collapses down to a flat little thing, and you've got a pretty good surface on it. So I think this is what I'll be using for it, unless I come up with some other method. But the burner itself, really simple, straightforward. No moving parts, so to speak, except for this little flapper here. The only thing I could see could go wrong, you could have the O-ring go out, but that's a pretty standard O-ring, and I see replacements are available for them. And that wouldn't hurt the burning function, it would only hurt the transporting function. But yeah, see, that's hot enough to make coffee already. Yeah, slick little outfit. And then like to shut them down, simply throw the snuffer cap on. And I noticed, being alcohol inside, the metal cools down very quickly, because it doesn't take long to cool it down to the point where you can already, screw the lid on to transport it. So I tell you, this is a way you could be making a quick meal on the go anywhere. Great little tool.